Hello, my name is Jonathan Day. I'm a student at Ferris State University, and this is another video for ISIN 325 database security. So what we're going to be doing in today's video is taking the student database that we created for Microsoft SQL Server, and we're going to migrate that into Oracle. And so here we have SQL Server Management Studio has our table here, and we want to find a way to get it into Oracle Express. So I've downloaded Oracle SQL Developer, which is a GUI interface similar to what Management Studio is, and I'm going to want to make a connection to the Microsoft SQL Server database. And so we are going to make a new connection, but first thing we're going to have to do actually is download this third-party JDBC connector. So you go to the project/JCDS from SourceForge, and that will download the zip file, which you'll need to unzip, and then go to Tools, Preferences, expand database here, third-party JBDC drivers, and then you're going to add entry, and then and mine would be in downloads here. I've already done it, and then here we have it, and we want to make sure that the jar file is there, and we've already got that, and so that is okay. Go to connections, and let's find a name for our connection. And I already have made this connection and call it MS SQL 2017, but I'll make it and just call it MS SQL. And we're going to actually be using SQL Server and using Windows authentication. And port 1433 is the default port for SQL Server, but as we see, I run that test, it does not connect. So it's like, there's a couple things that could be the issue. If you go into SQL Server Configuration Manager, it's possible that under the network configuration you do not have TCP/IP enabled, so you want to make sure that that is enabled. If you do have that enabled and you do the test and this isn't working, that means chances are that SQL Server is not running on that default port. And so in order to find out what port my server is running at, I go into my command prompt, run a netstat, and you see all these running processes. And we are looking for SQL Server. And there we have SQL Server here. And that appears to be going on. We have SQL Developer, so we're on 15.3.28. 51.3.28. So. Oh. Gotta find it on localhost. So what? There we go. 51.3.61. My bad. And so now that I've actually found that connection, you might have issues with Windows authentication. I've already gone ahead and fixed that. But if you do, it's because the ntlmauth.dll file, which is part of the JTDS download, needs to have this file copied into the binary folder for Java's runtime environment. So SQL Developer actually has its own Java development kit that's kind of installed. And so if you already have Java installed on your computer, you're going to want to actually copy this folder over into the Java runtime environment for your SQL Developer. And we can see as I scroll down that the ntlmauth.dll file is in there, and so when I did my test, it was successful. And so I go and connect this database, and now we can see in the MS SQL connection we have the databases from Microsoft SQL within our Oracle SQL Developer. And then handling the migration from there is as simple as right-clicking on the database, going migrate to Oracle, and then you have a wizard that will show up, and we're just going to do all the defaults here. You see I have a couple of migrations already, so I have students and students 2, and so I'm going to make students 3. Choose an output directory, documents, script. Go through the rest of, okay, so we have students 2, which is the selected database. I could also include multiple databases if I wanted to migrate both the students and students 2 database, though I'm not going to choose to do that. And the conversion types, since the data types for SQL Server are slightly different than some of the available data types for Oracle, you'll need to make sure that that's being handled correctly, and then making sure they're going to bring in other objects. So our constraints, so we have our primary keys that are going to come over. We want to just keep that as is. Target database, move data from MS SQL to Oracle, or MS MEQL. Whoops, my bad there. Didn't even notice that until just now. Here we're doing our database migration, and it's a relatively small database, and so there's not a whole lot that that needs to be done there. And then we have our migration here, and if we go into our Oracle database, we see that we have students 2. We look at the tables. We have those tables there. And we can see that our data was successfully transferred over. And when actually, if we want to use Oracle Express, and that's kind of this web-based tool, and we want to get into Application Express. I mean, we could take a peek at storage here and check out what we've got here. So I go into users, and then here we have these these tables that have come over. So we're going to want to get to Application Express, which is again more of a GUI-friendly type tool, and we're actually going to use existing, because we already have a database user that we've created, and it was named student 2. And then we're going to call the migration student 3 role. Oops. Oopsie-daisy, and I see what I did now. It's actually students 2, not student 2. So easy mistake to make. So I'm creating a new Application Express username, for this, and go to create workspace. Oh, workspace name already exists because I already made one. So we have students 2. We log in. And this brings us to the Oracle Application Express area, and if I go into SQL Workshop, I can see these tables that were recently created. 27 minutes ago. I grab the object browser, and now I can go in, take a peek at everything here. And so I've got all of my tables. If I go back into the workshop and select everything from my student table, I can see that the actual data, along with the tables and everything else, did come over in the migration. And so all of the queries that I did in the previous last week's assignment, I'd still be able to do in SQL with just kind of a slightly different um, syntax. And that is a migration of our student database from Microsoft SQL Server using a JDBC connector to connect that database to the SQL developer GUI, performing the migration, and then logging into Oracle Application Express to then go and log into that user, and we can just see our tables in there, and that allows us to use the application builder from the student database of Microsoft SQL. That's the end of this video. I hope you found this informational, and I'll be back with another video soon, I'm sure.